She's finally here. The Bird Queen has arrived. What's going on, Simps? The Worst Duelist here. So I'm actually a little late with getting this profile up, seeing as how, you know, the first video that was ever on this channel was a NEPHTHYS deck profile, but I do have the updated version, post Phantom Rage, including the Conductor of NEPHTHYS. It was a long anticipated card of mine, and I'm actually quite excited to get this build for you. And, you know, as in regard to the delay in actually recording the profile, I was, you know, I was in the lab doing a little bit of and yeah, we ended up actually just barely changing anything. I think that the version that I have in this video could be possibly the most consistent version. I don't know, I really have to test with it more. It's still like the True King NEPHTHYS variant where we could do like the VFD board with barrier statue and stuff like that, but this one seems to be a little bit more streamlined to just simply play like a bunch of copies of the ritual cards and then you play your level 9 engine, and like that's the whole deck. That being said, the list definitely suffers from not having a lot of interaction. Actually, I don't think there's really any interaction during your opponent's turn for like going second, but we kind of have to rely on sideboard for that anyway. I'm not really trying to turn this into the next Lord Trent video, having a half-hour long deck profile, but I will say, before we get started, I do have a small discussion, so if you want to go ahead and just skip to the deck profile, I will leave the time code here, and you can just simply go ahead and skip. I'll pin a comment that has it as well, so you can just do that as well, but yeah, so really not much more to say. I'll just let myself take away from here and enjoy the video. Oh, and like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks. Okay, so the first attempt that we, you know, put into building this deck, we knew that we wanted to play a rather small engine with like the supporting True King engine, but I wanted to add like a powerful normal summon, something that we could, you know, gain advantage off of, something that was like an immediate threat that, you know, our opponent had to answer. So I decided to look to this small engine. You know, while this is like really powerful and it gives us access to lib, and it like almost seems like perfect in the deck because it searches monstrosity as well, so it like really tries, you know, and does what it can do to like fully get us there. It's just not consistent, which is, you know, it's definitely a problem, and I didn't want to play like a whole Mech Knight engine in order to search this, because then that kind of like pushes our deck building for more of like a going second thing. I don't know, it just didn't seem like it was worth it, but you know, I played it nonetheless, and you know, it was powerful, it was definitely good, and I later, you know, added in stuff like this. I don't know, the more that I built in the direction of Girsu and like putting, like surrounding it with other things like this, and there was some other stuff that I played as well, it just kind of made the deck really crammed. It was like very hard to build the deck as well, and also like at one point it made like the one of count for like brick cards was like 7 or 8, like closely like 9 and 10 as well, which is just terrible deck building. It was kind of just all in an attempt to have like contingency plan after contingency plan, because of the fact that like while resolving like the NEPHTHYS combo is very powerful and has a very big payoff, it's just so susceptible to so much interaction. So we were trying to be cognizant of that and build to add things that will help us push past, but it didn't really end up working out in our favor with Girsu. I mean, it is very good, but I don't know. So after that, we looked to a different direction. We thought maybe this engine could be better because of the fact that it's far more consistent. Like, all the cards are very searchable through Fossil Dig, and of course they're all amazing, and we have access to Misc, so we could do like our fiber lines easier, which is also something that we try to do with the Girsu package, as just like more ways to try to push through interaction. But this makes the you know, the fiber plays much easier, because Misc can simply just summon a tuner from your deck with its grave effect, and of course it protects all of your UTC or UCTs and, you know, all that kind of stuff, your Animadorn as well. And of course, you know, getting access to double evolution through Animadorn, through like either Misc or like Pop Baby with any of the NEPHTHYS cards, it could very easily like end us up with a board state of like Samorg, Conductor, sometimes Dolka, Barrier Statue. You can use like the leftover NEPHTHYS cards to make like an IP or something. But while on paper it sounds like it should be very good, it's just not. It just also suffered very strong inconsistencies in the regard of like, yes, the Dino plays are very consistent, but you're really just like hindering your deck building by trying to play the NEPHTHYS cards with it because they were far less consistent. You know, now with the inclusion of Connector of NEPHTHYS, the entire deck is more consistent, which is nice, but it's still Conductor of NEPHTHYS, rather, I forgot the TCG name. The Conductor of NEPHTHYS doesn't really like solve any of the core problems with the NEPHTHYS engine, so you put this aside as well. I actually put the deck aside for a while. I shelved it in the book, and I came back to it after watching it was like a Rev's Cards video where he was doing the Crusadia engine with like 4-month skipper, so that he could go like 4-month skipper into Almirage and then like search Parallel Exceed, because that was one of the main problems with the NEPHTHYS deck, was you like always lose to Nibiru. Like even if you can make it past the Imperm or the Ash or the Gamma, you just always still lose to Nibiru no matter what happens, because of like the way that it was built with like just the Gearsu sequence into like a Fiber sequence. It takes you like so many plays to get to a Herald or like some form of negation. Whereas like, you know, the Parallel Exceed at the cost of the Grave Hole can, you know, help you play through a lot of interaction. A lot of, you know, it's the card pool, I guess, that the Grave Hole can counter is rather large, is what I'm trying to say. So I tried the 4-month skipper in order to search this, and I was like playing a deck with like 4-month skipper and Signet Mining, but it seemed like every time, and this, by the way, this is after Conductor came out. I was trying this recently. It seemed like every hand where I summoned 4-month skipper to get into this was also kind of lacking the same thing that the dinosaur build was lacking. Like I didn't have like the NEPHTHYS combo after that, especially if we're going Signet Mining, because like, you know, the ritual summon already is going to incredibly like hinder your hand size and just card advantage in general for you. And, you know, you can regain card advantage through that of the NEPHTHYS Link monster, but you have to be able to get there first, so that was an issue as well. So I ended up cutting the 4-month skipper. While it was a rather good idea, because you could even like reveal the NEPHTHYS Link monster and then, you know, try to make the NEPHTHYS Link with the 4-month skipper. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the deck. I've tried a lot. I think that this current build that I have that I'm going to show in the video is about as most streamlined as I think it can really get. It does do things. It's cool. The deck has always done things, but I feel like this version honestly does it the best. But I'll quit talking about it. I just kind of want to do a little bit of a small discussion about just what I've done to try to make the deck work. Please don't go watch the original video on this deck. Watch one of the newer ones. Alright, so starting off the list, you have the NEPHTHYS engine, which consists of the triple Conductor. It's the newest card, of course. I'll go over the effect in just a moment. Your triple Devotee, and I actually play the one Cerulean Sacred Phoenix, and again I'll get to that in a moment. So the Conductor is really powerful. Honestly, it's just it's a very similar effect to Devotee of NEPHTHYS, which is nice because you can have more. It's basically more copies of Devotee, which is was definitely an issue, but it's not the major issue of the deck. So what the card actually says is you can ritual summon it with Rebirth of NEPHTHYS, just like Devotee says, and then if it is ritual summoned, you can special summon a NEPHTHYS ritual monster from your hand or deck, except for Conductor of NEPHTHYS, and it's treated as a ritual summon, which is nice. So you can go like Conductor into Devotee and to get another guy, which is kind of huge, honestly. The second part of the effect says that if it is destroyed by a NEPHTHYS card effect during the next standby phase, because, you know, that was definitely a major problem with most of the older NEPHTHYS cards. They say during my next standby phase, but it's during the next immediate standby phase. You can destroy a NEPHTHYS monster from your hand, field, and deck, which is cool, but usually you just use it to blow up a Disciple of NEPHTHYS from your deck. The Devotee says that whenever this is ritual summoned, you can special summon a NEPHTHYS monster from your deck, and then the effect is, while it's in grave, says that you can destroy a NEPHTHYS card in your hand and then get it back from the graveyard. So you play the one Sacred Phoenix because it can just be summoned off of this for going second. And, you know, another thing that's good about playing the one of Cerulean Sacred Phoenix is it is also another level 8 winged beast that we can search off of our NEPHTHYS Link, because, you know, drawing the one target for the longest time was a problem. So that's cool as well. It's this card's effect, I might as well just go over it really quick, is during the main phase you can destroy NEPHTHYS cards on my hand or field, and then I can blow up the same number of cards my opponent controls. I think it targets it actually doesn't target. That's kind of insane. And then the second effect says during the next standby phase, if this card was destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon it back, which is cool because, you know, the old Sacred Phoenix was if it was only destroyed by card effect. And then we have the triple Disciple. This is the search card. I bumped this up to 3 mostly because of the fact that the problem before was you don't really want to draw this one, so you can always summon it out of your deck. But the reason that was an issue was because you couldn't normal summon this most of the time because you were wanting to normal summon Gearsuit, which is why you wanted to have this in deck so you could always get it off Devotee. That being said, now this is typically your normal summon, or if you draw this, you can simply just recruit the Disciple off of your rituals and then just normal summon this one. So just briefly go over it. The Disciple says during the main phase you can destroy 1 card in your hand, and if you do, you can add 1 NEPHTHYS monster from your deck to your hand, which is nice because it can search your connector, or rather your conductor if you're missing it, or devotee, vice versa. During the next standby phase, if this card was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can add a NEPHTHYS spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is cool because it can get you another one of the ritual spell. And then the Matriarch says you can target a level 4 or lower NEPHTHYS in your graveyard, except this one, destroy a card in your hand, special it back, and then if this card was destroyed by a card effect during the next standby phase, you can summon this card from the graveyard. So I decided to keep the Parallel Exceed in the deck anyway, regardless of playing Foreman Skip or not. It's definitely just a if you got it kind of thing, but it is nice to have, and it definitely can help trying to play through interaction. It is something that the deck was sorely lacking, and is still sorely lacking, which again is why I've included the card here. I'm not really going to go into this card. Basically, if you summon a Link monster, you can summon it from your hand, and then if this card is summoned, you can summon another one from your deck, and then they both become level 4. So next we have the level 9 package. I decided to build with this again because I feel like if you're gonna not play like another archetype, like another like full archetypal engine, this is kind of what you have to do, because realistically these are like the only cards in really Yu-Gi-Oh that your NEPHTHYS cards can benefit off destroying. I mean, the Kaku of course not being included in that, but you know, it just synergizes the most, and while it isn't, you know, quite as consistent as I would like it to be, it does do the job that we are trying to do. I don't know, VFD is a powerful card. There is always that. It's kind of really what I'm getting at. And you know, having the Kaku in, it definitely makes your going second place really good, which is nice as well. Along with the Cerulean Sacred Phoenix, so that's cool. And we kept in the triple or Legacy Monstrosity. And, you know, at this point, it's definitely more of like a, if you have it, you have it. It's very much like the same kind of idea as Parallel Exceed. I figured I might as well just go with the tried and true method of summon the very fun dragon. Oh, and I've also decided that if VFD gets banned, that we're just going to play the level 9 package anyway, and then we can make like Ether Vladimir or something, or just like literally resolve Monstrosity and then just link summon with them. I don't know, maybe I'll think of something else. So we just have some consistency pieces next. You know, we have triple pre-prep because it's amazing, and then this was one of the major changes that I made to the deck, was playing extra Foolish Burial with the steepest cost in the world. I always wanted to play this card, but the problem is you can't actually activate this card after you resolve the Gearsuit sequence because you set or Legacy Succession from your deck already. You just can't set cards the turn you play this. So it's not like for the rest of the turn or anything like that, which is unfortunate, but I can kind of see why they would have done that. But actually, I really don't see why they did that. It's kind of really annoying. But that being said, this can get us either of our engine pieces in the form of the ritual monsters or the actual rebirth of NEPHTHYS, which is cool. I am only playing 1 Herald in the extra deck though. I was playing 2, but I just cut it because I figured, you know, if we're resolving our combo, we probably just win. Well, I don't know, maybe I can add the second one, but I just feel like it just won't ever come up. And obviously this card is a hard once per turn, so that definitely strays me away from wanting to play the second Herald as well. I don't know if I ever mentioned this in any of my other videos about this deck, but this spell also is amazing for going second, and it's also really good with specifically summoning Conductor of NEPHTHYS. The card says that it can be used to ritual summon any NEPHTHYS monster, but if you tribute Devotee or the Cerulean Sacred Phoenix, you can pop a card in the field non-targeting, which is why it's so good with summoning, you know, Conductor, because you can go like Conductor, tribute Devotee, pop a card, summon Devotee, etc. One of Called By, no explanation needed. And the last 4 cards in the deck are your one-ofs that you just really never want to draw. This is honestly a magnet for me. I always draw this one, which sucks because it makes your monstrosity dead. It's your one of that you have to play so you can resolve monstrosity to summon out of deck. Statue of the Stormwinds is for Smorg. Drawing this one isn't that bad though, because Smorg can just summon it out of your hand, so that's nice. And I actually have been going back and forth with this. I know that I said that playing this is just like completely worthless. There's a lot of conflicting ideas about playing this card with the current list that I have, because if you have this on the field when you're going into your standby phase, you'll just never get to resolve this. That being said, a lot of the time you can put up an IP, so like a lot of the time you might not even have this, because if your opponent like goes to attack it or something or whatever, I don't know. There's actually been a lot of situations where I use the IP and smash together this and something else to make Appaloosa, so then that this can resolve. And when this does resolve, it puts in work. So I don't know. Honestly, it's probably not as good as playing Danger Thunderbird, but I don't know. I've been trying this again and I've kind of honestly liked it. So I'm leaving it in for now. It'll probably come back out though. So moving on to the extra deck. One Almirage. This is solely for the Parallel Exceed play, because you can do the same thing that you would do with Foreman Skipper with Disciple of NEPHTHYS, which is also another reason why I've maxed out the Disciple of NEPHTHYS. Not only does it trigger cards in your hand, potentially, but it also adds to your engine, and it can also turn into this card. You know, you can go Disciple, pop a card in your hand, turn it into this, summon Parallel, Necrophagia, resolve, what's it called? Conductor of NEPHTHYS. Do that whole sequence, and then whenever you get to making the NEPHTHYS link, you can just use the NEPHTHYS link and the Almirage you made at the very beginning of the turn to make some work, which is cool. And you know, if you have Parallel Exceed, you are protected through Nib and Ash and etc. and blah blah blah. So that's cool. So yeah, another one Almirage. Double Sacred Preserver. You can probably play one of this. I think just mostly because I'm playing the 2 level 8s, I feel like that having the second one could be really good in a grind. So we left the second one. I'd rather re-added it. I don't remember what the last status of this card was, but yeah, playing double of this, it's really good. Like I said, it can refill your hand after you've committed resources to the ritual summon. Yeah, I'll briefly go over its effects. You can only activate one of its effects per turn, and then, you know, it doesn't activate on summon, which is nice. You can just do whatever you want. The first effect is you can add 1 level 8 winged beast, and then you can add 1 ritual spell from your deck, from your grave to back to your hand. So that's cool. And the second effect says you can destroy 1 NEPHTHYS monster this card points to, and then you can swap it out for 1 in your graveyard. You can special summon 1 with a different name from your grave. So that is neat. Really, it's for the first effect. That's the main reason we play it. But yeah, pretty decent. 1 IP, because it's going to be part of your end board. 1 win, because this can get you out of the wind lock. You can just link away the statue and make this. So that's cool as well. Smorg, part of the end board. Nightmare Unicorn is for the IP, and also it's just Unicorn. It's just good. Boral Sword, Abramax, Appaloosa. Appaloosa is for IP play as well. And then Abramax is just really good in this deck. Like if you can't get access to BFT, you can make this guy, which is kind of like was sort of my reasoning with when I was saying, you know, if VFD gets banned, we're just gonna like link summon with the guys you get off Monstrosity, because you know if you're resolving Monstrosity, you get 2 guys in your deck, you have 3 monsters, you usually have a leftover NEPHTHYS guy, so that's an easy link to, and then an IP, and you can make this. And you know, some more gives you so many arrows, it doesn't matter, because like even just this plus barrier statue is pretty good. The 1 Herald is for the extra foolish. You never actually summon it. 1 Trish, this is of course for backup. It comes up a lot, so I've decided to add it, or rather I decided to leave it in. 1 True King of All Calamities, because very fun dragon. 1 Traptrix Rafflesia, that will protect us through all manner of things. And the last card in the extra deck is Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. How cheese would it be to like poke with Rafflesia for 300 and then put a Zeus on top of it for a meme? Or even like Calamities, punch, and then like turn it into Zeus. I don't know. You probably would never want to do that second part, but how funny would it be to slam Rafflesia, slam Zeus over Rafflesia? No, but in all seriousness, this, I don't really know how I feel about it. I feel like just because I have the ability to play it, I probably just should, because it is really powerful. And again, it's another one of those things where like going second, it's really good. I feel like I should probably add like a rank 2 exceed as well, like maybe even like a Daigusto Phoenix or something. I'm not sure, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of the rank 2 exceeds are pretty underwhelming. But yeah, this is the updated version of the deck.
Probably just kind of continue to update this as it goes on. I know I said at one point, I think it was in the dinosaur video, that I said it was like the definitive version of the deck.
So that was a fucking lie.
You know, hopefully maybe we can get some more support for this deck, but who knows what the future holds for NEPHTHYS. But as of right now, I've been kind of liking this. I try to build with extravagance and then just like simply just playing the combo in the extra deck, but you know, things just don't always work out exactly perfectly that you would like them to, so that just didn't really seem to work either, because you know, a lot of times if you're missing the mark on combo, like on like resolving the combo, then like you just don't really do anything. Your board just ends up being like a Trish barrier statue. That's no good, so straight away from that as well. But let me know what you think, leave a comment down below, and yeah, I'll see you next time, simps.